Sat alone at the corner table in the late night bar and watched the way the candle burned and bent between the fire and the near between the solitude I wore like my own skin and the music coming from the band that pulled the world back in. The clave was counting heartbeats in a time I recognized. The piano laid the montuno out for ears that were surprised to find that in the loneliest corner of the loneliest room there is a note that finds you and undoes the bloom of gloom. I have been alone in cities where no one knows my face. I have been the only stranger standing still inside the race. I have eaten at the counter and I've slept inside the noise of 1,000 other people who were also lonesome boys. But the music on the bandstand understood something I did not, that solitude and connection are just two things in one pot, that the trumpet playing lonely is the same trumpet that connects, that the loneliness inside you is the bridge between effects. Solitude is not the absence of the world around you now. Solitude is the presence of yourself that you allow. And connection is not filling up the empty with the crowd. Connection is the moment when the quiet becomes loud. The volatone is ringing in the frequency of both, the frequency of isolation and the frequency of growth. And somewhere in the ringing I can hear my name said clear by the music of a stranger who was once standing here. I have sat alone for seasons and I felt the weight of it, the winter of the solo when you can't remember it. But solitude is not the enemy that everyone declares. Solitude is where you go to find the thing that cares about you, for you, through you, in the silence that you keep. Solitude is not the dark, it is the place before the sleep, before the reaching out again, before the hand that finds, before the music starts again and plays across the minds. The congas speak a language older than the words I have. The bongos answer back with something softer than a salve. And I'm sitting at my table and I'm listening tonight to the conversation between the lonely and the light. Connection is not what they told you in the bright and crowded room. Connection is the thread that someone cast you through the gloom. A note, a phrase, a rhythm, or a look across the bar. Connection is the thing that makes you wonder who you are. To someone else, in someone else's story, in their song. And solitude is knowing you belong, not to the crowd or to the noise or to the constant talk, but to the music and the silence and the long late walk. The trumpet lifts above the piano and the bass. The trumpet plays a phrase that travels into every face. And every person at their table lifts their eyes a little. And for a moment we are all just gathered in the middle. The middle of the solitude and the middle of the need. The middle of the reaching out and the middle of the free. And Afro-Cuban jazz was always both at once this way, alone and communal in the same rhythmic display. I ordered one more drink and let the music carry me from the table in the corner to the place where I was free, free from needing to be known and free from being lost, free free from counting up the solitude and all its cost. Because the music played the bridge between the me and the we, between the corner table and the band that played it free. And I was still alone, but I was also in the sound, and in the sound of solitude connection can be found. So I sit at the corner table every time I need to remember that my solitude was never just a creed of being cut off or forgotten or of being left behind. It's the tuning of the instrument of my own heart and mind. Before the night is over and the music fades to still, before the candle gutters and the cold comes with the chill, I raise my glass to solitude and raise it to the band who plays the space between us like they fully understand that we are all alone together in this late night room, that we are all just candles burning edges of the gloom. That connection is the music, and the music is the proof that solitude and togetherness share the same roof. The Afro-Cuban jazz plays on until the lights go low. The clave keeps the rhythm for the ones who need to know that solitude is not the end and loneliness not the loss. Connection lives in the quiet places at the same cost. As everything worth having in this in-between lit life, the conga speaks, the trumpet sings, the place cuts like a knife, and I sit alone at the corner table understanding now that solitude is where connection takes its deepest bow.
The wind came through the valley with a name I used to know. It carried every promise that was made a long ago. Before the edge of silence and before the edge of stone, before the ones who made the promises were turned to bone. The wind remembers early bring the living tend to forget. The wind is still delivering a message I sent. 10,000 nights ago I called your name into the gale, and every wind since then has been the echo of that wail. You promise you win. Carry me. You promise you win. What did you see when you flew across the mountain and the sea? Did you find the one who made the vow to me? The tabla counts the heartbeats of the ones who wonder why. A promise made in wind is just a word without a home. A promise made in wind returns to wind and then is gone. But I have followed every wind that ever moved through here. I have pressed my face into each gust to feel if it was near the breath of the original, the one who said I swear, and swore it to the wind and swore it to the empty air. Yeah, wind, speak the promise back. Yeah, wind, what did the word lack? That it scattered like the dust before the dawn. And I am still here waiting, and the word is gone. The choir rises up like smoke above the evening fire. The voices build in layers, going higher and yet higher. And in the center of the sound there is a space of still. That is the shape of every promise no one chose to fill. My father made a promise to my mother at the well. He said I will be back before the moon has time to swell. 3 months and then a year, and then the years ran into more. And my mother at the well became my mother at the door. Watching for a wind that carried something from his mouth. Watching for the promise to blow back in from the south. But wind is not a keeper, and wind is not a vault. And every promise given to the wind is not the wind's fault.
Yeah, promise, yeah, word.
Where do you go?
Yeah, promise, yeah, true.
What do you know about the ones you leave behind when you fly free? Did you know the wind was never going to carry thee? The Kawali rises to the pitch of pure desire. The devotion in the music is a clean and burning fire. And I am burning with it, I am burning with the one of every promise that the wind refused to haunt. I made a promise once to someone I will not name. I gave it to the wind in summer, and the wind became a story of its own that had no room inside for mine. And the promise blew to somewhere past the mountains and the vine. But here I am still standing in the place I always stood, breathing in the wind and breathing out my prayers as good as I can make them, calling to the distant
promise you're true.
Come a little near. I have been calling for 100,000 years, and all.
I sat alone at the corner table in the late night bar and watched the way the candle burned and bent between the far and the near between the solitude I wore like my own skin. And the music coming from the band that pulled the world back in. The clavier was counting heartbeats in a time I recognized. The piano laid the montuno out for ears that were surprised to find that in the loneliest corner of the loneliest room there is a note that finds you and does the bloom of gloom. I have been alone in cities where no one knows my face. I have been the only stranger standing still inside the race. I have eaten at the counter and I've slept inside the noise of 1,000 other people who were also lonesome boys. But the music on the bandstand understood something I did not. That solitude and connection are just two things in one part. That the trumpet playing lonely is the same trumpet that connects. That the loneliness inside you is the bridge between effects. Solitude is not the absence of the world around you now. Solitude is the presence of yourself that you allow. And connection is not filling up the empty with the crowd. Connection is the moment when the quiet becomes loud. The Vranapin is ringing in the frequency of both. The frequency of isolation and the frequency of growth. And somewhere in the ringing I can hear my name said clear by the music of a stranger who was once standing here. I have sat alone for seasons and I felt the weight of it. The winter of the solo when you can't remember lute. But solitude is not the enemy that everyone declares. Solitude is where you go to find the thing that cares about you, for you, through you. face before the spleen, before the reaching out again, before the hand that finds, before the music starts again and plays across the minds. The congas speak a language older than the way taught had. The bongos answer back with something softer than a sound. And I am sitting at my table and I'm listening tonight to the conversation between the lonely and the light. Connection is not what they told you in the bright and crowded room. Connection is the thread that someone cast you through the gloom. A note, a phrase, a rhythm, or a look across the bar. Connection is the thing that makes you wonder who you are. To someone else, in someone else's story, in their song. And solitude is knowing you belong, not to the crowd or to the noise or to the constant talk, but to the music and the silence and the long late walk. The trumpet lifts above the piano and the bass. The trumpet plays a phrase that travels into every face. And every person at their table lifts their eyes a little, and for a moment we are all just gathered in the middle of the solitude and the middle of the need.
I stand before the mirror in the light of early morning. The face that looks back at me is older than the warning I was given in the years when I believed that time was kind. But time has been a river, and I've been left behind. The mirror holds the woman that I was at 23, still somewhere in the surface, looking back at current me. And I can see the distance between then and where I stand. The distance is the size of every grain of shifting sand. Time, time, you move through me like water. Time, time, you made me someone's daughter, and someone's older sister, and someone's letting go. And still the mirror shows me things that only I can know. I press my palm against the cold glass of the present tense. I feel the smooth reflection of a life that's growing dense, with years and with the weight of all the choices that I made in the bright light have slowly turned to shade. The mirror doesn't lie, but it doesn't tell the whole truth either. It shows the surface of the now, but hides the underneath there. It shows the lines that time drew gently, carefully, with care, but doesn't show the ones who put them there. You were the one who sat across from me at 26. You were the one who laughed before the laughing turned to tricks of memory. That softening that happens over years, where the arguments go quiet and you only keep the tears. Not of sadness, but of something that the years distill. The way a long December keeps a quiet kind of still. And in the mirror I can see the shape of where you stood. In the years when standing next to me was something that felt good. Inside it older, but still answering to my name. Time, time, you gave me something gold. Time, time, you made the warm turn cold, and then you warmed it back again, the way the seasons do. And the mirror holds the evidence of everything we went through. I used to hate the mirror for the truths it chose to tell. I used to turn it to the wall on days I didn't feel well, about the passing of the things I thought would always stay. The youth, the ease, the certainty that anything was okay. But now I stand before it with a kind of reverence earned from the years of looking away, and the years of what I learned when I turned back around, let the mirror do its work, and found that time was not the thief I used to call a jerk. Time was the one who shaped me into something I respect. Time was the sculptor, and the mirror is the architect, showing me the blueprint of the life that time and I built together in the years between the hello and goodbye. Strings rise above the quiet of the room. The piano plays the melody of afternoon in bloom, and I am 38 and standing steady in my skin, knowing what I lost and knowing what I finally win. Shows me someone shaped entirely by you. I run my fingers down the glass and leave a streak of light, a small mark on the mirror in the slow October night. And time moves past me gently, like it always will. And paint my image, and I hold the mirror still, because to see yourself in time is just to see yourself, not on the shelf of who you were or who will be, the wealth of some future self, but here now in the glass, awake, watching time move through you and deciding what to take. Time, time, I'm not afraid of you. Time, time, do what you need to do. The mirror and I have made our peace at last, and the face inside it trues every year that's passed.
I trusted you the way you trust the ground beneath your feet. I trusted you the way you trust the next breath and heartbeat. I handed you the keys to everything I kept inside, and you moved through my life like a snake in the tide. You smiled when I was open, and you struck when I was soft. You gathered all my secrets, and you took them to a loft. You wore my trust like clothing, and you wore it without shame. And now I'm standing in the cold with nothing but your name. Snake in my garden, snake in my house, snake in the language coming out of your mouth. I fed you from my hand, and you bit the hand clean through. I should have known from the beginning it was you. The 808 is sliding like you slid between my words. The hi-hats count the moments when I missed all of the cues. You whispered in the ear of everyone I loved and said things that only someone trusted could have read. I gave you access to the room where no one else could go. The vault behind the vault, the light below the low. And you walked through it slowly with your hands along the wall, memorizing every weakness, every crack, every fall. Snake, snake, I trusted you too deep. Snake, snake, you crept in when I sleep. Snake, snake, you wore the face of friend. Snake, snake, I never saw the end. How many times did I defend you when they said to walk away? How many times did I explain your nature and your ways? How many times did I make excuses for the cold, for the way you watched me bleeding and you never ever told? You knew the whole time, didn't you? You knew before the start. You saw the opening and calculated straight into my heart. Because snakes don't trust by accident, they choose the ones who give. They find the generous ones, the ones who need to believe. I was the one who needed to believe. I was the one who handed you the sleeve of every vulnerability I had, and you took it all and turned it to the bad. Snake in the circle, snake at the table, snake in the story you made while I was stable. You took my stable and you made it into fire. Snake, you were always only ever for hire. The melody hooks even though the content is betrayal. The hook is the nicest thing about the most painful tale, because that's how it works when the snake has talent too. The most beautiful thing in the room was always you, and that was how you did it. You were gorgeous and exact. You gave me just enough warmth before you took it back. You held me at the distance where the venom doesn't show, and I kept walking towards you wanting more of what I know. Was poison, was a pattern, was a game you'd played before. Was me at 37, standing at the door. You left through in the morning with my everything in hand, and now I'm trying to understand. Snake in the garden told me something old and true, that trust is not the thing you give, it's what you earn from you. That the ones who ask the hardest for your faith right at the start are usually the ones already aiming for your heart. Snake, I'm not even angry anymore. Snake, I'm just gonna open in the door. Snake, go find another one to shed your skin upon. I've turned the locks and I've moved on. The drill beat cuts like truth through every layer of the lie. The pop melody makes it sweet enough to say goodbye, and I am singing every word of this from somewhere clean, from the other side of trust, from where I've finally been. Snake in my garden,
Snake in my house, snake in everything that came from out your mouth. I trusted you completely and you used it well. But now I trust myself and I am doing well.